Now, Storm Watch 12 weather with meteorologist Josh Culbreth.
Welcome back to News Watch 12 midday, and right now you're taking another look at this very intense storm system that's swirling in the Pacific Northwest, and this looks very similar to the storm system that we had just a couple days back. It's almost an identical setup. We're going to have all this atmospheric river moisture impacting us a little bit later today. Already seeing some light showers, but it's nothing compared to what we're going to see again later in the day. So we'll put this into motion. By the time we get to dinner time, most of this is in the west side valleys and along the coast. It'll have a tough time making it over to the east side for tonight, just given that we think it's going to stall out a little bit over on the west side. But then it finally does get to the east side come time for Saturday morning. And then we'll get a bit of a break by midday for Saturday into the afternoon, into the evening. But then here comes another round for late on Saturday into early in the morning on Sunday. So if you were paying attention to southern Siskiyou County throughout that whole ordeal, you probably picked up on the fact that there was a whole lot of rain and snow working through that region. So here's some of these projected rainfall totals through Saturday night, upwards of 4 to 4.5 inches for the Mount Shasta area. So some very beneficial rainfall when it comes to the drought. And we're also going to get some beneficial snowfall for the snowpack. Snow levels are going to be anywhere between 4,000 to 5,000 feet. So that means that we will have those biggest impacts in elevations likely above 4,500 feet. So that's why we have a winter storm warning in place for Siskiyou County for today and for tomorrow. Now here's our estimation of snowfall totals over the next 48 hours. And we're being very aggressive when it comes to some of these snowfall totals for the Mount Shasta City area, 8 to 12 inches. And if this comes to fruition, just know that those adjacent passes like Snowman Summit, like Blackview Pass, they could be impacted in a very big way. We're talking snow chain requirements. Usually there's a screening for snow chains. I believe it's in the Ferndale or Fondale area, but it's somewhere in California just to the north of Redding. Should probably do my homework when it comes to that. But anyway, elsewhere, totals not nearly as impressive, especially for some of those lower elevations like Klamath Falls and for Lakeview. Maybe a couple inches for Siskiyou Summit, and we're expecting more to be added to the snowpack again up towards Diamond Lake and Crater Lake. We're also going to deal with some very gusty winds in the midst of all of this. We have wind advisories in place for the Shasta Valley, for the Rogue Valley, also high wind warnings in place along the southern Oregon coastline. And then for tomorrow, we could have comparable wind gusts in the Shasta Valley and over on the east side. And so this is due to the fact that we could have winds gusting anywhere between 45 to 65 miles per hour, with some of those strongest wind gusts being in the Shasta Valley, specifically down towards Weed. So all the precautions you took a couple days ago, like bringing in the patio furniture, tying down any loose objects outdoors, you got to take those same precautions for today. So because of the winds, because of the snow, travel is going to be very difficult over the next couple of days, especially for some of these high profile vehicles. So for today, we will have that storm system draping areas along the Cascades and to the west. It'll have a hard time making it over to the east side for tonight, but then that will finally happen during the overnight hours, and we'll have more active weather set after this, just because that's the pattern. It's wet, it's windy, it's wintry. It's what you'd expect for this time of the year. There's your 7-day forecast for the coast. Wet and windy over the next few days, and then we will not get a break after that. It's just going to continue. For Siskiyou County, we are expecting some big time impacts in south central Siskiyou County. Like I said, those passes on California 89, on California 3, they are going to look very rough over the coming days. So have snow chains ready to go if you plan on traveling within those areas. For the east side, maybe getting a couple inches of snow in Oregon 140. We're definitely not going to see the impacts that we'll see in Siskiyou County. And for the Cascades, where of course we're expecting to add more to the snowpack, which is already above average. And in fact, I'll have more on that a little bit later in the show. And then for the Rogue Valley, lots of rain, lots of winds, lots of temperatures that are above average at the very least over the next 7 days.
Okay, so it's just a matter of taking the precipitation much needed at this time of the year with some of the downfalls that come with that.
Yeah, I wish it was just rain, no travel impacts, no wind. That would be the perfect scenario in my mind, but it's a hypothetical.
As we've learned, Mother Nature doesn't always give us what we want.
No. She just hands us the cards and we just have to figure out what to do with them.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Josh.
Of course.